In today's video, I'm going to share with you 5 fall decorating ideas and DIYs that are super easy to make and on a real budget. Keep watching. Hello everyone, welcome back to Ramon at Home. I'm so excited you're here today because in today's video I'm going to share with you 5 brand new fall decorating ideas and DIYs done in a total budget. In the past few videos I've been sharing with you fall decorating ideas and DIYs. Some of them are neutral colors, some of them traditional, and some of them even the ones that I call Falloween, which are more like the Halloween slash fall DIYs. And all of those are going to be linked down below in the description so you can catch up with them. But in this video, I have a brand new fall decorating ideas and DIYs batch that I really think you're going to enjoy. So if you are interested, please stay tuned. Don't forget to like this video and share with your friends, because it is free and it really helps this channel. And also, if you are already subscribed, don't forget to turn the notification bell on, because you will not want to miss any of the upcoming decorating ideas and DIYs for fall 2023. Well, if you are ready, I'm going to go to the studio and share with you a super quick, affordable, and easy DIY for fall. Let's take a look. Alright everyone, so for this DIY, which is going to be one of the steps in another DIY that I will be showing you later, I thought I'd figure out how to upgrade these cute little pumpkins from the dollar store. Look how absolutely cute these are. They have this sweater material and the little stem has some copper paint. It's just absolutely gorgeous. The flowers are also from the dollar store, and I have selected 5 with a long stem and 5 with a short stem, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually get the greenery out of the ones with the short stem. And this is super easy. All you have to do is pull them out like this. And let me tell you, these flowers from the dollar store, they're perfect for, like, if you have a smaller door, you can make a wreath, or for your centerpiece. They can be a filler since they are actually not that bad. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert the foliage from one stem into the next like this, because I want these flowers, you know, if you cannot do it from the top, then go from, or if you cannot do it from the bottom, go from the top, because sometimes the bottom is a little bit thicker of a stem, but we know that if we take off the top, then we're going to be able to do it. So like that. I want to have 2 foliage stems on each of the picks, because I want it to be a little bit more bountiful. This is going to be super cute and I cannot wait for you to see. So basically this is step 1, but what I was telling you is that we're going to be using this on another DIY that we'll be doing. I'm going to start putting them to the side here soon on this video. And I'm going to be using them as the flowers or focal points. And so for that, we have to make sure that we have all of these flowers done like this. The more foliage you put on your flower, I'm only doing 2, you can do 3. The more foliage you put on your flower, the more realistic it looks, because when the flowers grow, well, they are very bountiful. So I'm going to do that. And I have 1 left, and this guy is going to get 2 because I had more than 1. So I'm going to do 1. Then I'm going to do the next one like this. So this is the first step. You know what? I don't like that one. So that's a good thing, because that one had fallen out. So I'm going to just insert this one and see how it is harder. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert the flower back in, and this is where the next step is going to happen. These are all from the dollar store. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that foliage down, and then I'm going to grab my flower and I'm going to poke through until I can see the stem. It is a little hard because you have to see how you can see the stem right here. So I'm going to do that to all of them. And like I said, it gets a little tough going, but there we go. And sometimes you just have to like pull out that little stem that comes with it, like that. I'm going to do one right there. I didn't even know they had that little stem. So that's a good thing that I figured out so that I can tell you about it. So it is easier if you just pull your stem like that, and then you pull that little stem out, because it's what stops the flower from falling apart. But we kind of do want them to fall apart, because that's part of the process. And like I told you, this is going to be part of another arrangement that we're going to be making. And I just figured since they're only $1, why not show you a few tricks with this particular flower. Thumbs up if you guys are enjoying this video. I'm super excited to bring you brand new DIYs like this one. I literally just thought of this when I was at the dollar store. I was like, let's do something cute and fun for everybody. All right, so I have all of my flowers already pulled out. So as you can see, you have the stem right here and the stem right here. And so now what I'm going to do, all of this right here without the foliage, I'm not going to pitch. I'm gonna save them from another project. So now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna bring my hot glue gun and make sure that I have enough glue in it because I don't wanna run out. So I'm gonna put some glue all up in it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab my sweater pumpkins and I'm gonna put a double glue right here. See how I ran out of glue? Man, it just cannot be easy. So I'm gonna be generous with my glue. Then I'm gonna grab one of these flowers. And because these pumpkins are made out of styrofoam, it should be really easy to poke in. And you have to poke until you hear it pop. And look at that, you guys, you have a pumpkin flower. How absolutely cute this is. And the reason why I wanted to have two foliages is because I want to be able to separate them so it looks like this. Let's do another one. So basically I'm gonna let them cool off right there. So I'm gonna grab another one of these flowers. Then I'm gonna grab my glue gun and I'm gonna do a dab of glue, just a little dab of glue. And then I'm going to grab my stem and I'm gonna poke it in like that. And look at that. How adorable is that? All right, let's do all of them. And like I said, I was walking through the dollar store one time with my mom and my grandma and I saw these little pumpkins and I was like, well, you know what? They're perfect for fillers, but what else can we do with them to show people and to use them in different projects? So I thought, you know what? A blooming pumpkin would be super cute. If we put it on a flower arrangement or if we put it on a centerpiece, this would be super cute for a centerpiece. And as you guys can see, it's super affordable because the package of these little pumpkins has like 3 or 4 and the flowers is 5. So with $2, you can make this cute little DIY. And as you guys can see, it is super easy. We're almost done with it. And the secret here is to be generous with your glue because we want to make sure that we have enough glue to secure it like that. Like that. And look at that. Instead of having a flower, we're gonna have some sweater pumpkins that we're going to mix in with some flowers. So what do you guys think? Leave us a comment down below. Wasn't that a super fun and easy fall DIY, you guys? We're going to be using this particular fall DIY for a project in this video. Moving on, I think it's gonna be like the 3rd or 4th project. You're gonna see how we're gonna use them. But I want to encourage you to just give it a try, to give your imagination fly when you are on the aisles of the store and think outside the box when you are selecting your fall decorating items. All right, so now next I'm going to share with you a gorgeous mantelpiece that I decorated for fall that I think you're going to love. Let's take a look. All right, everyone, so to create a gorgeous fall mantle, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna design something lavish and very affordable with ribbons and stems. And I just wanted to point out right here, I have all of my stems at the ready. I have some eucalyptus, I have some maple, I have some oak, and we're going to mix all of them. So I have them gathered in this basket. I'm gonna lay it right here so that I can pull from. And then also I have this type of greenery that I got at Hobby Lobby. And I will be talking to you about where I got the items as I go along. But I just wanna let you know that I have all of my materials at the ready, my wire over here, because we're gonna wire some ribbons, and then also some scissors and some ribbon over on this side. It is best if you just have all of your materials at the ready when you are working, whether it's on a mantle, a wreath, a Christmas tree, a garland, because that way you don't have to be looking for all of it, right? So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab some of this greenery. This is from Walmart, and what I like about this is because it's gonna give us that touch of green. Even though it's going to be a fall design, I do want to have a little touch of green because if you've been following the channel, you know that I lived in the Midwest. And when I lived in the Midwest, I used to go out running, and my favorite thing about going out running during the fall was to see the changing of the pines and then also the trees changing. So the evergreens and all of the beautiful colors of the trees changing was my favorite thing. So I always try to use some of the greenery on my fall designs. And as you can see, I'm gonna show you right here. I wanted to spill forward because I wanna be able to see it. So I don't wanna hide it. And just by grabbing one of these bristles, all you have to do is twist it, and that's going to secure right there. Just twist it real quick. And see that I'm repeating the matter right here. What happens on the left happens on the right, and what goes up must come down. So we're going to make sure that we repeat the matter on each side just by twisting one of our bristles over here. And like I said, this greenery you can find at your local Walmart store. I know for a fact they still have it because I just saw it a few days ago. All right, so now what I'm going to do is, now that I have some of that greenery, I want to lay some ribbon. So I'm gonna grab some of this beautiful ribbon with a pumpkin, and I have already cut it into strips because I want to make sure that I'm as fast as I can. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna pinch right here, and I'm gonna go over on this corner and grab my bristles, of course. I'm gonna do just one big swoop like this. And for this particular design, you guys, I want something very loose. You're gonna see a lot of these tails hanging because I want it to be really loose and nothing too tight and compact. So I do want to be able to, when I have all of my greenery already laid and all my foliages, I want to be able to pull this ribbon here so that I can see it. So I'm just gonna leave it like that. So like I said, very loose, very, very loose. So I'm gonna grab this right here, and I'm gonna go here in the middle, and I'm just gonna tie it like that. I was gonna let those right there hang. I'm gonna grab another strip over on this side. And what I'm going to do is I'm gonna do the same thing that I did on this side. And this is just gonna add some touch of orange. And it's gonna add that fall feel. I love decorating a mantle, you guys. When I worked at the flower shop I worked at in Kansas, one of our jobs was to go into customers' homes and decorate it. And one of my favorite was to decorate for fall, because I just love the colors of fall, the smells, the textures, and thankfully the temperatures are starting to low, so that way that we can enjoy fall, right? All right, so now what I'm going to do is, this is the longest strip of ribbon that I have, so I'm going to make a bow real quick with a long tail. So I'm gonna grab right here, and like I said, I want this to be very loopy. You want it to have a little bit of give and a little bit of air when you are doing this design. So I'm gonna do maybe a 4-loop bow like this. So I'm gonna do a 5 because I have the ribbon, so why not? Look how fast it is to do it. How good are you at doing bows? You know, practice makes progress. I don't like that saying that says practice makes perfect, because I don't believe in perfection. So I'm never striving for perfection. What I'm always striving for is to just get better. Every bow that I make, every wreath that I make, every Christmas tree I decorate, I just strive to be a little bit better than I was the last time. All right, so now I'm going to put this bow right here in the middle, making sure that I attach both of my wires so that way it's not going anywhere. And that's why it's so good to have these wires at the ready. And then we're going to just let these ribbons, like I said, you know what, I'm gonna move this guy over to this side, right under the bow, right here, and just securing that. Now I'm not gonna fluff the bow because I have so much more to put in. And the next thing we're going to add is going to be some of these. Now this right here, you guys, used to be a garland that I cut into 4. This was a long garland, as you can see, and I really love how loose it is, how loopy it is. And so I cut it into 4 pieces, so that way I can now start going the opposite way. So now I'm gonna start right here where the bow is, and I'm gonna grab just a bristle, and then I'm going to go the opposite direction. So every time that you insert one of these, you need to make sure that they go the same way. So I'm gonna put one right here in the corner. Look how I skipped a piece, because actually I'm gonna go all the way down over here because we have other greenery. So that means that you don't have to have all of the same greeneries at the same time, but you do have to have cohesion, and I'll talk to you about that in just one second. All right, so I was gonna stay right here. So now I'm gonna repeat. Remember, what happens on the right happens on the left. So I'm gonna go over on this side, and then I'm gonna grab my greenery. And remember to just twist a bristle around, and that's gonna make it secure. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I have these other branches. This is from Hobby Lobby and I love it. So now I'm gonna get my cutters over here. And what I'm going to do is I'm gonna cut them short like this one, and I'm gonna start filling in. And when I fill in, I want to make sure that I go down like this, because I want it to go down. I want this to be as lavish. I'm gonna put these guys over here. Sorry if you see them in the camera. Oh yeah, you do. See how it goes down like this? I want it to be as loose, like I said, as possible. And for that I need to cut some of this. So I'm gonna go to my right, and I'm gonna switch to my left over on this side, and just grabbing a bristle, I'm gonna twist it in like this. I'm gonna grab another one. I have some that are already cut because I use them for other projects, and I'm gonna go right here, just grab a bristle and twist it. You want to make sure that you insert that stem into the garland, and just grabbing a bristle, twist it there to secure. And see how it even stands it up? I just love it. I love this type of greenery. It gives us so much to work with. And I'm gonna put one going down like this, going all the way down. Look how pretty that is. Isn't that gorgeous? I just love fall. Like I was saying, the colors of fall, the smells of fall just remind me of the Midwest. And those were some of my happiest days, you guys, when I lived in the Midwest, because the temperature changed, and it's just so beautiful. If you live in the Midwest, you're so lucky to have all the seasons of the year. You get the spring. I remember in spring we look forward to summer because it was like really getting off of the cold, and then in summer we just could not wait till fall because it gets really hot. And during fall, well, we could just wait till the holiday season because our job was to decorate people's homes. And so if you are in this business, then you know that that is one of the best times of the year for anyone that is in this business. So I'm gonna insert this one right here. Remember, we skipped, and you have to make sure that you go through the garland like that. Look how pretty that is. And then I'm going to make sure that I go right here also, because this is where we skipped. Look at that. Look how bountiful this looks. All right, so I feel like I'm missing some things on the top. I have one of these greeneries, so I'm gonna go ahead and put it right here, just so we have something going up. And then I have some other fall foliages. This was a pick that I got from Hobby Lobby, and I already cut it. It had 5 stems. So I'm gonna go ahead and just fill it in right here where my bow is. Just go ahead and insert this, guys. Anywhere you have some holes, but there's still some other items to come. All right, so now the next item I'm going to add is going to be some of this guy right here. And I just absolutely love this. Look how dainty it is, how loose and beautiful it is. So I'm gonna start right here on the top, and I'm gonna insert this guy. And this is what's gonna be kind of like our flyaway. And the best thing you can do, like I said, is just remember that what happens on the right happens on the left. So if you put one going north, you have to put the other one going south. And then what I want to do right here is to immediately go like this to kind of create this right here. So now move to the other side. The other thing you could do is literally just finish one side and then do the other, but most likely you're going to forget, and it's not going to look balanced. And remember, the balance is your friend when you are decorating for any season, because you want to make sure that everything looks cohesive, well balanced. Look at that. I'm gonna put it like that. You make sure that they spill forward like this. So pretty. And I'm gonna use this guy right here. Like that. Look at that. Oh, so pretty. And I don't wanna forget my ends. So what I'm going to is I'm gonna come right here. I'm gonna go up and just grabbing one of those bristles right here. I'm gonna give it a twist. Remember, you wanna have all of the same items or products all throughout your garland to make it look cohesive. If you think that cohesive is your best friend, every time that you're doing an arrangement, you'll start thinking, oh, where's cohesive? Cohesive needs to be here. Cohesive is my best friend. And you'll never have a design that does not look balanced. All right, so now I'm gonna add one right here, going this way. And it's all about just going through that garland Oh my goodness, look how pretty this is. And I'm gonna go over on this side now, and I'm going to go right here. So now for the best part, I have this particular greenery. Let me show you how beautiful this is. And this is from Shinoda Design Center, and it has some glitter. And then I bought this ribbon. Where's my scissors? Now this is gonna be where the magic happens. That was just like the beginning of it. So I have this gorgeous ribbon. Look how beautiful this is. And then I have this beautiful copper looking piece of greenery that came from Shinoda Design Center. This is from Hobby Lobby. This is gonna be our last step, but now I'm gonna do a little cleanup and I'll be right back to show you our next step. Keep watching. All right, you guys, so for our next step, which is going to be my favorite step, I'm going to do some really loopy bows. I'm gonna just drop this on the floor. I have two bolts of ribbon, but I don't know that I'm gonna need the two because there seems to be like a lot of ribbon on that bolt. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna do probably a tail about 12 inches. And what we're going to do is just 2 loop bows. We're going to do probably like a 7-inch loop and a bigger one, like a 10-inch loop. And then we're going to just do another tail. So I'm gonna cut right here, and I'm going to put the scissors on my pocket and the ribbon as well. This is how I, this is crazy, but this is how I used to work, with the ribbon hanging and the scissors hanging from me all the time. And what I'm going to do is I'm gonna do a wire right here, and we're going to wire this together. And so we're gonna be left with 2 ribbons, 2 ribbon tails, and a 2 loop bow. And so I'm gonna start right here on the corner, and I'm gonna grab a bristle from over here, and I'm going to just twist this guy like that. And then what we want to do is we grab our scissors and we dovetail, and we just want those tails to hang. That is the beauty of this design, that you just have this really beautiful mantelpiece with mostly greenery or foliages and some ribbons. And the beauty of it is the difference between the ribbons. We first laid this pumpkin ribbon, and so now we're going to do this beautiful foliage ribbon. I'm gonna cut right here, and remember to do them at a different lengths. And don't forget to always use your wires. I'm always telling you that if you have all of your materials at the ready, then it is faster for you, because you don't have to stop and wonder, oh, where's my ribbon, or where's my my scissors. I'm gonna add one right here, and you have to make sure that you see these bows like that. I'm gonna grab a bristle and I'm gonna tie it like that, and this is gonna help us fill in. Look how pretty this is. We grab our scissors and we want to make sure that we dovetail right here. I'm gonna do yet another one. Isn't this gorgeous? Are you guys enjoying this video? If you are, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, because that really helps the channel. It helps us reach other people that are interested in the same subjects, like home decorating, DIYs, fall decorating, Christmas DIYs. And if you've been with us for a while, well, let me just say thank you so much for being here. I've been having a lot of fun with the full series, and I really hope that you are as well. And there's more coming, so stay tuned, because there's more coming, and I could not be more excited about it. All right, so now I'm going to add one right here, right next to this guy. We're gonna fluff, and now I'm gonna grab my scissors, and I'm going to dovetail right here. And I'm gonna do one more. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'll be right back with you to give you our last step for this gorgeous mantle. Keep watching. Ta-da! Isn't this absolutely gorgeous, you guys? Look at all of the loops of the ribbon, all of the texture, all of the bountifulness of fall is just interpreted in this beautiful garland. But it would not be a Ramon at home fall DIY without some glitter. So for that, I'm gonna pull out these beautiful picks. They are from Shinoda Design Center, and they come on this beautiful copper, and it has this gorgeous micro glitter that I just absolutely love. I have 6 of them, so I have to make sure that I distribute them throughout the design equally. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna put one right here, like that. This is gonna be like our center, so you make sure that you distribute all of the things that you have all throughout your garland. Then I'm gonna go over here on the corner. I'm gonna put one right here, like that. I'm gonna immediately go over to this side to make sure that I have the same item in the same spot, but in the opposite side, like that. And then I'm going to go and go up like this, making sure that I can see the beautiful pick, like that. Then I'm gonna go over to this side, just adding one more right there. And just like that, we have a super gorgeous, bountiful mantle. I'm going to decorate the top of it, and I'll be right back with you to show you the end result. Keep watching. Okay, before I share with you the end result of this gorgeous mantle piece for fall, what I want to do is ask you to come and join me on my Facebook account and Instagram, because I am doing some live videos over on Facebook. All of my social medias are going to be linked down below, so they can come and join all of the holiday fun. All right, now that I said that, also don't forget to like this video and share with your friend, because it is free and it really helps this channel. All right, you guys, so now I'm gonna share with you the end result of this gorgeous mantle piece for fall. Let's take a look. All right, we are done. And as you guys can see, for the top of the mantle, what I did is I did a dual arrangement on this beautiful blue and white pottery. I absolutely love blue and white with the oranges and the browns and the beautiful tones of fall. And I went ahead and put some stick that they made on the middle right here. I put a little candle just for the scent of fall. And actually, here's a tidbit. I always like to light a candle when I'm recording a video. You might not see it, but it's always there because I love to be inspired by the smells. And so I just want to point out that this beautiful, gorgeous garland, there is a core right here. And I'm always telling you, whether you're creating a wreath, a Christmas tree, or a floral arrangement, you always have to have a core where everything radiates from. And remember, what happens on the right happens on the left, and what goes up always has to come down. And that is the way you're gonna have a gorgeously balanced whatever you're creating. And also, I love the texture of the little pumpkin ribbon. You can see a peekaboo everywhere. And I just love that because it really does create that fall feel. And I love all of the loops of ribbon. I think this turned out absolutely gorgeous, and I really hope that you enjoyed it as much as I did. And if you did, be sure to give the video a thumbs up, share it with your friends on Instagram, Facebook, and on WhatsApp, so they know about what we're doing here at Ramon at Home for fall and for Christmas, because that's coming really quick. And be sure to thumbs up the video if you learned anything. Also, leave me a comment down below and let me know what was your favorite part about this fall mantle DIY. Like I said, I had so much fun sharing this with you, but now I'm going to go get ready for our next fall DIY, so keep watching. Okay, I have to tell you a story. Back in the day when I used to decorate homes for the holiday season and for fall, decorating the mantles was one of my favorite things to do. I just think that a home with a mantle decorated for fall or Christmas can look so lavish and so gorgeous. So if you are lucky enough to have a mantle in your house, I really do hope that you consider decorating it for the fall season and also for Christmas. And for Christmas, we'll be coming up with brand new ideas coming up soon on our holiday season 2023. All right, so if you've gotten this far into the video, I would appreciate it if you give the video a thumbs up, because it is free and it really helps this channel, and I just love saying that. And now we're gonna move on to our next fall DIY, and that's going to be a gorgeous, super easy and affordable centerpiece DIY for fall. Let's take a look. All right, everyone, so for our next fall DIY, what we're going to do is a gorgeous centerpiece for your table. and it's going to be so beautiful. Let me share with you the items we're going to need. First of all, we're gonna use 2 blocks of foam and a tray from the dollar store. I'm always telling you to get these inexpensive mechanics at Walmart, dollar store, or Hobby Lobby, because you can always get them for cheaper. I'm gonna use a candle from Amazon. This is an operated candle, and I just love my operated candles because I don't have to worry about burning down the house. What I'm going to use is 2 of these ribbons, the one with the little truck and the pumpkins. This one has the yellow pumpkin. That's why I'm gonna use some of this yellow burlap ribbon. I'm going to use some foliages in yellow and red, and look how gorgeous this is with this right here with the truck and the pumpkin. It just goes perfect with it. And so I'm gonna use some of that. I'm gonna use some of these flowers from Walmart. I'm gonna use 3 pumpkins from Hobby Lobby, and I also love these ones because I already come with a pick. I'm gonna use a hurricane for our candle, and then also I'm going to use a piece of garland. I also am always telling you to save some of your garland and your evergreen wreaths for projects throughout the year, because they are the perfect basic garland for projects like this. All right, so I'm gonna clear this table real quick. I'm gonna come back and give you step number 1. Keep watching. All right, everyone, so the first step is going to be to glue down our foam into our tray. This tray you can find, like I said, at your local dollar store. It's super affordable. It's only $1.25, and then these blocks of foam as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab both of my blocks of foam, and I'm going to just add 1 strip of glue right here to unify them together. And I always tell you that keeping the foam in the plastic wrap is the best thing you can do, because you will not have all that fussiness all over your house and your fingers and your nose and everywhere. So then what I'm going to do is I'm gonna add glue generously here to the bottom of my foam, like this. Just be generous until it crackles and popples. And then what we're going to do is we're gonna glue this down right here, and we're going to press down for a few seconds so it really tacks on to that plastic, and it's not gonna go anywhere. It's gonna be really, really firm, but for that, we have to press. And while I do that, I'm going to invite you to give this video a thumbs up, you guys, because it is free and it really helps the channel. Don't forget to share it with your friends on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and on WhatsApp. Send it to them so they too can come back and join all the fall decorating ideas and DIYs, and of course the holiday season. You don't want to be that friend who found out about all the DIYs and didn't tell your sister-in-law and your mother and your brother and everybody else. All right, so now that that's there, tacked on, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my hurricane and I'm going to press down, kind of like in a circle, to make an impression of, I'm going to put this down on the floor, so I don't want to knock it over, to make an impression of our hurricane, so that way we know that not to poke in there, because that's where our hurricane is going to go. So now we're going to grab this greenery garland, and I usually cut it right here, but because this one's really sparse, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go all the way around like that. See how sparse that was? I'm just gonna go like this, and then I'm gonna grab 2 of these bristles and I'm gonna go like this. And so now you have your garland like this, and you want to fluff, because we're gonna need those bristles to add our next step, which is going to be our ribbon. Now that I'm almost done with my hot glue gun, I'm gonna put it right here on the corner. I like to have my space clean while I work. That's why I always have this cloth right here, and I'm always cleaning as I go, because that's how I was taught. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab some of this ribbon, and also I share with you this tip. I have this box of little corsage pins that I bought, and then you use a corsage pin every time on your roll, and then it doesn't unravel, so that's perfect for that. And then what you do is just put them back into your corsage box like that. When I worked at the flower shop, I was so organized, and that went away when I had to record like 5 or 6 or even 10 DIYs per video. And so that went away, but I'm trying to be more organized because, well, it is the way to be. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my truck, and I do want to make sure that it goes on the right way. So I'm going to start right here, and I'm going to do, so I'm going to grab my bristles and I'm going to twist. Have you guys caught up with our fall season so far? I'm having a blast sharing with you all of these DIYs and ideas. So far, I shared with you, let's see, the video I shared 5 neutral DIYs. I'm gonna link it down below if you have not seen it. And then we did 5 traditional color DIYs. It's also gonna be linked down below. And then we did 5 Halloween, which is like fall Halloween, and that is in purples and oranges, black and white. And I'm gonna also link that down below so you guys can catch up. And that's been our fall season so far. Then I shared with you how to do a centerpiece with a pumpkin. I shared with you how to do 2 wreaths. So we've been busy this fall season, and I just had a blast sharing with you guys all these ideas. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I can't wait for the holiday season to start, because I am super excited about all of the DIYs that we're going to be doing for the holiday season. All right, so that's our first layer of ribbon. So I'm gonna cut right here at an angle or with a dovetail. Then I'm gonna grab this other one, and I'm going to do, you know what I'm gonna do with this one? I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna grab some wires from over here. That's what I'm always telling you. It's so good to have all of your tools at the ready, so that way you can just be creative. I'm gonna cut this right here at an angle. I just did a live on Facebook. If you watch on Facebook, we're gonna be doing some live videos on Facebook. So go follow me on Facebook, you guys, for the lives for Christmas DIYs, and then all of the fall decorating on Facebook, because people really seem to enjoy that Facebook live. So I'm glad to do it in order to entertain you. So what we're going to do is we're going to do cute little bows like this, and then we're gonna cut at an angle like that. So what I'm going to do is, I'm not even gonna tie it. I'm going to grab 2 of these bristles, and then I'm going to go ahead and use these bristles to attach. And look at that. That gives you 2 little bows right there, and I'm gonna do it one more time. So I'm going to do 1 little bow, and they have to be little. They're probably like about 3-inch loops, like this. And then you flip around. You 1 more like this, and that's just gonna go well with the pumpkins that are on the little truck. Also, I share with you a super gorgeous, I'm gonna put it here on the screen with you, a super gorgeous full wreath, you guys, using these exact same ribbons. It was so pretty. So many of you seem to really like it. That's on our traditional color DIYs, and I'm gonna encourage you to go check it out, because it was a very different type of full wreath. Right, let's do 1 more. So basically just pinch. I also love this ribbon from Hobby Lobby. It's affordable, and it just has that beautiful hand. Right, like this. And then you always twist, whether it has a printed side or not, so that way you kind of get used to it. All right, like that. I'm gonna cut this guy right here. So now I'm gonna put this guy right here. So we're gonna do a triangle, and I'll explain that to you in a second. So I'm always telling you that what happens on the right happens on the left. What goes up must come down, that we work in sets of 2, 3s, and 1s, and then also that in order to have balance, you have to do a triangle shape on your designs, and I'll show you what that means. So if I want to lift this up right here, you have a triangle going this way. If I have to go like this, you have a triangle going this way. And if I have to go like this, then you have a triangle going this way. And that's what's going to give your centerpiece a balance. All right, so now I'm going to clear this real quick. I'm gonna bring my greenery and my flowers, and I'll be right back with you to give you the next step, so keep watching. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna add one right here, and remember what happens on the right happens on the left. So I'm gonna go over to this side, and remember to always insert at an angle. And now, what goes up must come down, so remember that as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert down here, because you have to have the same foliages and the same materials all throughout your centerpiece. So now I'm going to move immediately over to the other side. And I have 1 more over on this side, so I'm going to add it to the top going this way to create that triangle, like that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some of these beautiful greeneries right here. And for this, I'm just gonna go ahead and add 1 up, 1 down. That's how we call with green a container, right? We know that we cannot pass that circle in the middle, because that's where our candle holder is going to go. But what we can do is get as close as possible to cover as much as we can for the container. And look how pretty that is looking just by adding that greenery up and down. So I'm gonna add 1 There's my circle. That one right here. One up, what goes up must come down. Then you spin around, and you go like this. What goes up must come down. And then you spin a little bit, and then you do what goes up must come down. And you just continue to spin and repeat this motion to make it look very bountiful. I love these ones with a little acorn. Isn't that cute? I just absolutely love it. What is your favorite DIY that we've done so far this fall, you guys? I'm so interested to know. Have you been enjoying these DIYs? Have you, do you have a favorite that you want to talk about? Be sure to sound off in the comment section below. I really love reading your comments every Sunday. That is my favorite thing that I do when the video first posts. I take the first hour to read and to answer all of those comments that you guys leave on the channel. So all right, so now that we have all of our foliages, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fluff these ribbons to make sure that they show, because we kind of tend to flatten them. And look, if you just put your fingers in there and then do this like dancing motion inside of it, look at this one right here is really flat, but if I just pull my fingers in there and then look, see, it does that again. All right, I have some stems that I'm going to keep at the end, but now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my flowers and my pumpkins. So I'm going to do my pumpkins at the end. So I'm going to set them over on this side. Have you given this video a thumbs up? If you haven't, I really encourage you to give the video a thumbs up, just because it really is free and it helps this channel. I love saying that. All right, so we're going to, remember what, we have two colors. So we have this pumpkin color, and then we have this rust color. So I like to always use one at a time, so that way I can have some balance. So I'm gonna start right here. Remember, what goes up must come down, like right here. And then also we're going to do a triangle. So I'm gonna add another one right here. So that's a set of 3. So hit 1, 2, 3, and here's your triangle. So now immediately I'm going to move to the other side. And I feel like this one's too long, so I'm gonna cut it a little shorter. And then I'm gonna do one up right here. And then I'm going to go down right there, and that's going to be a set of 2. So that gives us the the line. Then I'm going to go on a point just with a 1 over here. See, and that's what's going to give us a triangle shape. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring out the other ones, and I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it equals amount of flowers. So now I'm going to reverse it. I'm going to do a set of 2 over here. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? And then I'm going to do, because I only have 1 right here, I'm going to do a set of 3. So I'm going to start right here. 1. I'm going to do it so you can see it. 2. And then 3 right here. So that's, this 3 is opposite than this 3 right here. Then I'm going to spin around, and then I'm going to do 1 over on this side. Making sure that goes on my foam. I like to hear that crunch from the foam. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my pumpkins, and I'm going to add 2 and 1. So I'm going to add 2 right here, making sure that my ribbon doesn't go flat. Let me see. This one has a shorter stem, so I have to make sure that it goes into the foam like that. So how cute is that? So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this one a little shorter, but not so short to not struggle like with that one. I'm going to add this one right here, respecting my little ribbon like that. So that's 2, and then I'm going to go over to this side. I'm going to add this guy right in here. Perfect. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add these curlicues that came with a stem, and I'm just going to go ahead and add one right here. That's going to give us something to talk about, right? Like that. And then I'm going to go over to this side. I'm going to add one right here. Right here. Like this. Now I do have some bittersweet I want to add to this. I'm going to go get it in my candle, and I'll be right back to share with you the last step. Keep watching. All right, so now this is where the magic happens. This centerpiece is looking kind of flat, and this is where I'm always telling you that you need your flyaways, because that's what this is going to give life to this centerpiece. So I'm going to cut them all at once like this to save me some time. I'm gonna do one stem. I'm gonna do two stems maybe. Let's see. Which one do I want? I want this one. So that's two. And they're two different colors. So basically you just grab your bittersweet, you give it a little bit of a bend, and then you start inserting one up, one down. Look at that. See how that gives it that depth right there? That is exactly what we're looking for. We're gonna do one right here. Otherwise, your centerpiece and floral arrangements are just going to fall flat and moundy, to where this is what's gonna give us that beautiful depth and dimension to any centerpiece or wreath, even your Christmas trees, you guys. I do not do a Christmas tree without my flyaways, because I think that's what gives them the life. That gives them the Ramon at home look. So if you're looking for a Ramon at home, like on my Etsy shop, you know it's gonna be filled with flyaways, because I never do anything without the flyaways. And once again, all you have to do is like up, down. Look how tall this one is. It's so pretty. I'm gonna bend it like this. I'm gonna go right here, like so, and I'm gonna go down one right here, making sure that I get that foam and I hear that crunch. One more right here on the top, making sure that, there you go, see? And then one down. What goes up must come down. Let's see, I need one right here between this pumpkin. Let me find, there you go, there's the foam. There you go. And I feel like I need some right here between these ribbons. Look at this. Isn't this just absolutely stunning? I love it. All I have left and all I need to do is two things. Number one is fluff these ribbons. Once again, put your finger in there, bring them like this, and then give them a little run like that. And look how I'm putting my hand on the hurricane, because I don't want it to tip over. So basically just pull my finger through it so you can see all of these gorgeous ribbons. And just like that, you have a gorgeous full centerpiece filled with all of these flyaways, these gorgeous mum flowers, the beautiful ribbons, you guys. Look how absolutely stunning this turned out to look like, with a few pumpkins. You don't need very many, just 3 of them. And what you do need a lot is the gorgeous flyaways, whether twigs or this bittersweet. It just screams fall, and I really hope that you enjoyed it as much as I did. If you did, be sure to give the video a thumbs up and share with your friends. And now I'm going to get ready for the next full DIY, so keep watching. You guys, wasn't that super easy? And I'm telling you, that is an affordable or on a budget full DIY centerpiece that I know you will love recreating. Those little flyaway bittersweets really take it over the edge and makes it absolutely gorgeous. But now we're gonna move on to our next fall DIY on a budget, and that's going to be a gorgeous arrangement for an entryway table, for, it can be even a centerpiece for a sofa table. And I really think that you're gonna love this one because the colors are just exquisite. Let's take a look. All right, everyone, so for our next fall DIY, what we're going to do is we're going to create a gorgeous centerpiece or arrangement for an entryway table, for your table, perhaps even for a sofa table. It's going to be so much fun because we're going to be using this beautiful vintage container that belongs to my mom. She let me borrow it one time and I haven't returned it yet. And then we're going to use this beautiful lantern that I have, and I have shown you guys. I can believe that word escaped my mind, and I use it all the time. This lantern I've had for a few years now, so we're gonna set it right there. I'm going to use a candle that is battery remote operated. For our foliages, we're going to use our David Christopher's foliage. Remember, you still get 10% off at checkout at David Christopher's if you use the code Ramon10, and that's all throughout their website. So take advantage of that. We're gonna use David Christopher's oak and then also David Christopher's boxwood. I'm gonna be using some of these really pretty mums and then some of the burlap foliages as well. And for our flowers, what I'm going to use is some of these mums from Walmart. Remember, these are the ones that come in multiple colors, but I just got the cream ones this time. And then we're going to be using our pumpkin flowers that I shared with you how to make at the beginning of the video. All right, so let me get all this situated and I'll be right back to give you step number 1. Keep watching. Just like with any floral arrangement that I share with you guys how to make, what we need to do is do our centerpiece, and that's going to be adding our candle inside, making sure that it works first. We don't want to get to the, oh, it does work. We don't want to get to the end of it and then realize that our candle did not work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it right there, but I'm going to turn it off so my battery doesn't run out like that. And so that's where our lantern is going to be. So I'm going to start with my David Christopher's boxwood, and you guys look how cute this is. It has the brown and the green, and it's just perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to green some of this, and remember, what happens on the right happens on the left, and what goes up must come down. And I'm going to share with you real quick right here. So basically what I did is, like, I did one going spilling forward to the right, and then immediately I came to this other side, the back of it, and then I did another one spilling to the right as well. So now I did the ends right here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another one right here spilling to the right, and then I'm going to go ahead and spin around all the way around, and I'm going to do another one spinning to the right. See, and what happens to the right happens to the left, but when you insert, if you just continue to rotate your arrangement, then you'll be able to balance. And remember, when I decorated the mantle, I told you that balance is your friend. Balance and cohesion are your best friends. So you make sure that you always are talking about, when you're working, about balance and cohesive, because that's what's going to give us a beautifully designed arrangement. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right here and put one on each side. But if I don't want to put it straight up, because I put it straight up, it's going to cover my arrangement. So what you want to do is you always want to put them on an angle like this and see how it spills forward to, versus this one is covering our arrangement. So what you need to do is give it a spin and put it on an angle like that, and that'll spill forward that way. I have one left, but I'm gonna save it to the end to see where I need other picks. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring some of these gorgeous, absolutely stunning David Christopher's oak, and I'm gonna do some right here. First of all, this is gonna be long on my table, so I wanna make sure that it spills forward. Here's the other secret. When you want it to spill forward, what you need to do is insert on an angle down. I'm gonna share with you right here. So I want it to spill forward or down. So what I need to do is like insert basically up, going up like this, and see how it spills forward. I want my lantern to be very centered. You could use any lantern that you may have. I know right now you can find some really pretty ones at David Christopher's, but also Walmart has some really cute ones on their candle department. Who else? Hobby Lobby has some really pretty ones. Also on their lantern department. I'm gonna put one right here in the middle, and then I'm gonna spin around. And since I only have, well, I'm gonna add this one. See how right here I don't have one to put, I have this right here. But then the one that I had left, I'm gonna put one right here. And remember, it doesn't have to be the same, but it has to have the same placement, so that way it is all balanced. So that way it's all long, and then also it's all wide like this. All right, so I'm gonna leave my burlap ones at the end. I'm gonna go get my flowers, and I'll be right back with you to give you the next step on this gorgeous arrangement for your table. All right, you guys, so I'm gonna start with these longer ones. I'm gonna cut them really long. And remember to always save some of these, because as you guys can see, we just use them on the flowers. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna separate that greenery, and I'm gonna give the head of that flower a little bit of a curvature, just because that's how the flowers grow. And I'm gonna put it down up here. Then immediately I'm gonna go to the other side. So I'm gonna curve that to the other side, and I'm gonna insert that going the other side. So now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna give it a curvature like this, and then I'm going to go over to this side. And I'm gonna spin around, and I'm going to repeat on the other side. Remember, what happens on the left happens on the right, and what goes up must come down. What happens on the left happens on the right, what goes up must come down. I'm gonna do another one right here at the end, like this. And then I'm gonna do another one over on this end immediately, and I'm going to go down like this. So now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna insert my little pumpkins. And so those I want closer to the container or to the lantern because that's gonna help us cover some of that mechanic. How adorable is this? This is turning out so pretty. I love it. And then you can put some on the corners like that. And remember to immediately go over to the other side like this. And I have one left that I'm going to probably put right here. Look how cute that is. Isn't that adorable? Then I have these mums that I got from, I think these are from At Home. I was just there the other day because I had a 20% off coupon for my birthday, which was August 19th. And I saw that they had them again this year, and I just love them because they are the perfect flyaway. And you will see as I insert these guys right here. So I'm gonna add one right here, and then immediately I'm going to go down. And I love this little grass because it gives it a lot of texture. And I'm gonna go right here. Remember, flyaways, you have to make sure that you let them fly away from the arrangement. Hence the word flyaway that I invented when I was a florist. Because I noticed that there was something that these designers' arrangements always had. But every time that I ask him, he's like, I don't know, I just do it. So I used to pay attention as he worked because I was still learning myself. And I realized that what he did was like he did grasses and all of these other materials that had this spikiness to it. And he would just let them fly out of the arrangement. So that's when I was like, oh, those are the flyaways. So that's what I named them. All right, so now I have all of these other foliages that I just have from a pick. So what I'm going to do, and they're all on the brown, so that's why I kept them specifically for this arrangement. Look how this goes so well with this. I'm going to insert all of this and I'll be right back with you to give you one last step. Keep watching. All right, so far this is what our bouquet looks like. Isn't this absolutely gorgeous? It is so airy and beautiful, and that lantern in the middle just really makes a statement. So what I'm going to do now is I have some of these berries that I have used in another project, and I also have a brand new pick. I just love these berries. We call it popcorn berries, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to also insert some of them as flyaways. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I go around the perimeter of my container, as you guys can see. And I'm just gonna add some berries for texture. So I'm gonna be adding 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 of them. So I had 8 of them. I'm gonna cut them all at once right here. Because remember, we want them as tall as possible because they are part of the flyaways. Flyaways, you have to let them be themselves. If we push it, I'll show you right here. If I push this berry all the way down, you lose it. It doesn't become part of that texture. So you have to give them a little bit of air. And then also you have to mix them and intermingle them in the other greenery like this. Look how absolutely cute this is. And now this one right here. So far I am in love with it, but now I'm gonna add these really pretty burlap foliages that I got from the dollar store. Every year I get a whole bunch of this because I just feel like they are the perfect touch for a wreath, a centerpiece like this one. Just to add a little bit of texture. Look at that. And I love the fact that that wire is very thin, but it's also very firm. So you just go ahead and remember to always add your foliages at an angle. But like if you guys see right here, you would see the wire. So what you need to do is like spin it around and give it another angle. So that way when this is the front, you're not seeing those wires. That's very important. You don't want to see a bouquet that has all of these wires showing because, well, that's not very pretty, right? So look how easy it is to just insert right here. And all of the texture of the berries, the foliages, the burlap, the flowers, it just creates an absolutely outstanding centerpiece that I know for a fact your guests will just absolutely love. All right, I'm gonna insert one last one, probably right here on the top. Let me see. Sometimes, like my ex-boss used to say, stop while you're ahead, but my boss also used to say, it's not done till it's overdone. So that's what this bouquet looks like. All we have left to do is turn our little candle on. And look, you guys, how absolutely adorable is this centerpiece. It was done basically in just a few minutes. Just remember, what happens on the right happens on the left. What goes up always has to spill down. Let it just spill down. And then also don't forget to create these beautiful pumpkins. Look how gorgeous they look with the flower and the foliage, and it just creates that texture for fall and a neutral color. And if you like the neutrals, remember I have a whole video with all neutral colors for fall. If you like this idea, be sure to give it a thumbs up and share with your friends on WhatsApp and on Facebook so they too can come back and replicate these looks. And don't forget to leave me a comment down below and let me know what was your favorite part of this DIY. Now I'm gonna get ready for our last DIY of the day for fall, and I'll be right back, so keep watching. Well, wasn't that absolutely stunning? I love creating centerpieces like this one to teach you guys how to create a gorgeous arrangement or centerpiece step by step. So now we're gonna move on to our next fall DIY. And I've been telling you that in the first fall video I shared with you how to do a collection of neutral color fall DIYs, and also a natural color fall DIYs, and a fall Halloween, which was the blacks, purples, black and white, and orange fall DIYs. You're going to find all of those videos linked in the description box below so you can catch up with them. But this is gonna take us back to the fall Halloween, and I'm gonna share with you how to create a super gorgeous, easy and affordable fall swag for your front door that I think is going to blow your mind. Let's take a look. For this last fall DIY, what I want to do is show you a swag alternative for your front door. Remember at the beginning of the video, I shared with you the swag that we did in a previous video, and it was absolutely beautiful. But if you are more on a budget, I'm gonna give you a small alternative on how to create something beautiful for your door this fall. And we're gonna start with some fall foliages and some of the items that we've been using throughout the video. So what I'm going to do is, I'm gonna start with this fall foliage from Hobby Lobby, and I'm gonna do 2 going down and stagger them like this. You might wanna give it a bend to one side so it gets fluffier, like that. And then I'm gonna do 1 up here. That's gonna be our core right here. You wanna make sure that you bring this one down like this and get rid of this tag. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna bring in one of these black little sparklers that I love, because that's gonna help us fill in right here the void that we have. And then I'm gonna add one right here on the top. Remember, what goes up must come down, so we have to make sure that we use the same elements up and down. Now also remember, whatever happens on the left happens on the right, so be sure to alternate the sides when you are doing something like this. So now I'm gonna add this cute little pig that came from Walmart, and that's gonna be more of our filler. So I'm gonna put 1 up, and then I'm going to insert 1 going down like this. And now, oh my gosh, it's getting full right here, but it's okay, you can use all your hand. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring one of these beautiful purple sparklers that I call the sparklers, and I'm gonna add it right here, and we're gonna fluff it a little bit so all of them show. And then I'm going to add this really cute purple one going up here to kind of balance it off. And we'll adjust in a second to see if we need to be adjusted. And then I'm gonna add this one right here on the bottom as well. And I'm gonna introduce this guy right here, like this. And we'll start fluffing in a second, but the first thing we wanna do is make sure that we tie all of this together. And I'm gonna use a zip tie for that. And I'm going to pull really tight to tie them all together, then we're gonna fluff. But first I'm gonna cut the excess of this zip tie right here. Okay, so now I'm gonna put that to the side. We'll fluff in a second. Now what I want to do is, I want to use all of the leftover ribbon that I have from this. Oh, that's actually a lot that I have left over. I didn't know that. But what I want to do is I want to do simple loops. So what I want to do is leave a tail about that big, and then I'm going to just do 1 cute loop like that. And then I'm going to do a longer tail, and I'm going to cut right here. And so I'm going to introduce now my black and white one. I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to do a tail, and then I'm going to do a cute loop like this, and then I'm going to cut right here. We'll dovetail at the end. So now what I want to do is I want to bring the Decor material ribbon, and I'm going to also do a big long tail, and then I'm going to do a loop right here, and I'm going to cut again. See how easy this is? All you have to do is single loop. Now I'm going to bring this beautiful orange 1-inch ribbon. I'm gonna do the same. Remember, because he is the smallest of them all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 2 loops of him. So I'm gonna do yet another one right here. So I'm gonna bring it over to the other side. I'm gonna see if I can swap. Yes, I can. Okay, so I'm gonna put it on this side, and then I'm gonna do a loop. And now I'm going to, well, that's all there is of him, so that's good. So now you want to fluff, make sure that you have them about the same height. And what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab a wire, not a zip tie this time, but a wire, because I'm gonna make sure that I attach it to my swag. So basically just go like this and pull back really tight. You can measure right here, like I can see this a little bit too floppy. So I'm gonna go down a little bit, make sure they're all at the same height. Perfect. And so now I'm going to twist like this. And I'm gonna grab my swag and I'm gonna attach right here in the middle. And I'm going to swirl real quick. So now I'm going to fluff my swag and I'm gonna start separating all of my stems, making sure that they all show like this. All of the stems that have some foliage in them, just make sure you fluff them and thin them out so they can start showing, and then we'll fluff all of our ribbons at the end. So every single swag, every single stem, you want to make sure that you attach to make it look more abundant. Like this. These sparkles you want to put to the side and you want to fluff. This black and white right here you want to put to the side by giving them a little touch like that, and you want to fluff. And see how much fuller it became. I'm going to fluff these ribbons, put it in the door, and show you what it looks like. Keep watching. Alright, so I just want to show you how beautiful your door can look if you are looking to put a swag that is absolutely bountiful and actually colorful at the same time. I really love working on this simple yet elegant design, and I really hope that you guys are inspired. As you can see, it's not a lot of things that you need to create something beautiful for your door this fall. I cannot wait to read your comments, so leave me a comment down below.